issues, I should say, means if I put a word on it, because farmers are struggling. There's a problem of planting ethanol industry. So have you written something to the government to fix it?
See, I would not say this is a pathetic condition. The industry goes through various cycles, sometime because of the weather, sometime because of various other challenges. As I said, government has been very supportive to the industry, and this is a continued discussions on various policy measures. Having said that, as I just mentioned, that the ex-mill prices have started coming down, which is much below the cost of production. And ex-mill prices at the level of cost production is very important, at least to maintain the viability, economic viability of the sugar industry. So we have requested the government, since there has been a tremendous increase in FRP since the last time MSP was revised way back in 2018-19, when the FRP was just 275 rupees a quintal. Today it is almost 355 rupees a quintal, almost 30% increase from 2019 level. And that time the MSP was revised to 31 rupees a kilo. So based on the today's cost of production and specifically keeping into account the increase in the raw material cost, that is sugarcane, the MSP, which is the minimum support price of sugar, needs to be increased to almost 41 rupees. And this is extremely important to keep the ex-mill prices at a level of cost of production, so that the mills are not forced to sell sugar at lower cost than the cost of production, because ultimately this will further losses in the industry and affect our ability to make the cane payments. This is perhaps one of the most challenging issue at the moment, and government has been discussing with us, and I believe in some time, this is what we assume, that because the situation is getting very difficult and the arrears are likely to increase substantially going forward. So in order to see that it doesn't happen, government should perhaps announce a revised MSP to level of around 40-41, and this is perhaps the most challenging issue at the moment, which needs immediate attention of the government. The second issue is on the ethanol allocation. As I just mentioned, the allocation this year has only been around 290 crore litre, which is very below the level which it should have been. Had anticipated almost 450 crore litre of allocation this time. And way back in 2018-19, when Niti Aayog came out with a roadmap of E20, and it anticipated and it gave a direction to the industry as well as the policy makers that when E20 will be achieved by the government, by the country, that time the requirement will be around 1100 crore litre. And in that case, sugar industry, which has always been with the backbone of the ethanol industry, will at least provide 55% of the ethanol. And because of such supportive policies way back in 18-19, also various schemes which were given by the government in terms of putting up the capacities and encouraging industry to put the capacities, sugar industry has invested almost 40,000 crore rupees and put up a capacity of producing 900 crore litre of ethanol. So if we have the capacity of producing 900 crore litre, and if we get an allocation of 290 crore litre, which is hardly anything, which is very dismissal, so I believe it creates a huge problem for the industry of running their distillery much below their viable capacity, and thereby at least having a huge losses. So this is not a very ideal scenario. I believe allocation needs to be enhanced, and I am sure in cycle 2, which I believe OMCs are likely to come very shortly, we will have at least a proper mandated diversion for the sugar industry to ethanol. But going forward next year onwards, we at least hope that we will at least get 50% of the entire ethanol allocation. This is the second issue. The third issue which we are facing is on the ethanol prices. See, our ethanol prices are based on the cost of the feedstock, that is sugarcane. The sugarcane prices, which is basically of FRP, which we are supposed to pay to the farmer, is decided by the government. Every year, government, based on certain inputs, the CACP, recommends the increase in the FRP, and based on that, government finalizes, notifies the rates for the sugar cane, which we are supposed to give it to the farmer. And the entire product, that is ethanol, around 70 to 75% of the ethanol cost today is the raw material cost. So if the FRP increases every year, and if the end product, the cost of the end product, that is ethanol, if that does not increase correspondingly, it becomes a huge problem for the industry. So at the moment, for last 3 years, while the FRP has been increased by 16 to 17%, there has been no increase or correction in the ethanol prices, which is again affecting the viability of the distilleries. I believe it is very, very important that government must look at ethanol prices correction also, because ultimately we are helping our farmers, we are helping our rural population by giving more viability to the ethanol economy, and also we are reducing the import of crude, saving the foreign exchange, also mitigating the climate action or climate change which is happening. And specifically what we have seen in Delhi NCR, the kind of pollution, we must enhance at least the ethanol economy and also beyond E20. So third was the ethanol prices. I believe this is something which must be seen, and at least the correction needs to be done. And see, why we are asking for a correction is that when we are making ethanol, diverting sugar, that means we are sacrificing sugar. So instead of making sugar, we are making ethanol. So there has to be a corresponding compensation for the ethanol prices, because we are sacrificing sugar. So that's very important.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.